Ah, this house has memories. It's a beautiful house. Wonderful orientation that I have towards this house. I remember it as a child coming here. Fancy house, not your usual farmhouse at all.
Built in 1906 by the Burr family of New Westminster, Burr House, or Burrvilla, was the center of lavish dinner parties and community gatherings in the early 1900s.
When you come into here, look at these sliding doors.
The Burr family moved away, but by 1979 it was a residence again, and its new owners petitioned Delta City Council to preserve it as a heritage building. That started an ongoing relationship between the GVRD, various municipalities, and the Delta Heritage Advisory Commission.
Originally, the Burr House was about 1 kilometer from here, on the mainland, if you wish, but it was Crescent Island. The house was moved because of the highway, which was coming within 11 feet of the front door. And so we asked if the parks people could take the house, and they were very good about that. And we were able to restore the house, and we had 50 people that actually worked, tradespeople who were unemployed at the time. 50 people worked on this house. Ah, this room brings back memories. It really does. You could have 28 people sit in this room at the table. I think the general public, when they come by this house, they can see something that is elegant. They can see something that shows that there is continuity in this particular environment. If you just come to the park, you see the natural side of it, which is beautiful. But if you come here, you can see the cultural side also.
Invermere School House, grades 1 to 8, was built a little later, in 1909 to be exact. It had to be relocated, and in 1982 it was moved to Dease Island.
It was built on the Patterson estate, which was called Invermere, and it was a horse farm of approximately 2,000 acres. I lived in the area, but of course I knew some of the people that attended that school. I actually knew one of the teachers that taught there in the early days. One-room schoolhouse. On the wall here would be a picture of the Queen. This is Queen Alexandra, who was Edward VII's wife.
Like Burrvilla, its restoration involved the local Heritage Commission, volunteers, and the GVRD.
There was some initial capital money that went into it from the parks people, and then we used the labor that we could find, the volunteer labor that we could find. On the front end of the school, actually, this is where probably the teacher would have a blackboard up here, and there would have been another chalk rail, and her desk would have been here. And it could have been on a raised platform even, so that she could look to the back, see what the big kids are doing, because the big ones sat at the back and the smaller ones sat in the front.
We're just coming in the front door at Cammidge House in Boundary Bay. A very traditional farmhouse for the day when it was built in 1914.
If Burrvilla was where the well-to-do hung out, Cammidge House was where the working stiffs lived. Less formal than Burrvilla, it's called a four-square-style farmhouse because of its simple, unadorned lines. The house was moved to Boundary Bay Regional Park in 1997 and refurbished by the GVRD, Century Group, the real estate company that donated the building, and the local Lions Club.
To my right, we have a traditional living room. I think in the farmhouse days you would find that there would be a big dining room table here. The outside is pretty well the way it was in the 1920s. The veranda was there, but it has been updated. I understand it's structurally pretty well the way it was at the beginning.
Lots of space in a historical setting. That's the appeal of heritage buildings like Cammidge House. All these historical houses are rented out to the public for weddings, meetings, and special events by the GVRD's Visitor Services.
They just have to give us a call and let us know what it is exactly that they're looking for, and then we try to fit them with the right park and the right facility for their event. There's much more ambiance to facilities such as this as compared to, say, a hall in a community center.
Heritage buildings like Cammidge House, Burrvilla and Invermere School House not only remind us of our past, but serve a modern purpose as well.
Well, we preserve buildings like this, like Burrvilla, so people come here and they can see that there was something before them. Beautiful wood design, lovely finish on it, tile work on the floor. If we don't hold on to some of our past and carry that through into the present, we don't know where we stand with things.